Hi and hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I am now back to regular posting. Thank you so much for being patient over the holidays so that I could relax and recharge a little bit. I hope that you all had a lovely Christmas. I thought for my first video of January it'd be very fitting to do a kind of reset type of video, so that's what we're gonna be doing, as I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video. So a couple of weeks ago I asked y'all for feedback on what types of videos you want to see on my channel, if you like the kind of videos I'm making, if you had any new suggestions, what your favorites were to see, and thank you so much to everyone who left a comment on that. It's so helpful hearing from you when I go to sit down and plan the content that I'm going to be posting. I looked at every single response and actually ended up putting it in a spreadsheet, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to share the data with you. I know, a spreadsheet. Who is she? Who is she? So I'll tell you all of the video topics that got commented 5 or more separate times. So by far the #1 video that y'all want to see is plant chores, and specifically long plant chores. I tried to make little notes if there were things that I noticed being mentioned. So y'all want to see long plant chore videos. Some comments also emphasized a preference for more casual type of videos and plant chore videos that span over multiple days. And I love making those kind of videos. I love long plant chores, so that's definitely something that is going to be continuing in the new year. 51 of you commented. There's 51 separate comments for voting for plant chores. So yeah, definitely the most popular comment. Following that is repot videos, which kind of surprises me, I guess, because a lot of my repot videos don't do that well, but I got 40 comments saying repot videos, and I think that a lot of them were kind of like my chatty repots or my Q&A repot type of thing. People were also commenting that they liked when I theme things, like maybe repot a certain genus or something like that. So yes, I will be continuing to do repots. I'm actually probably due for a Q&A soon, so maybe we will do a Q&A for January. Keep an eye out on my community tab so that you can submit a question if you have one or a topic for me to talk about. The third most popular comment that I got was for my walkthrough updates that I do. 24 separate commenters casted their vote for more walkthrough videos, so I like to do those monthly. They're probably one of my favorite videos to watch from other creators. Like, I just love seeing kind of an overview of people's collections, and you get to see lots of different things. Like, you get to see the styling, you get to see changes in the plants. So I love doing those videos, and I will definitely be continuing doing those monthly. There was 11 comments. This actually really surprised me. There was 11 comments for care videos, like, or I guess just me sitting down and talking about a specific plant, which is probably the route that I would do, because yeah, several people commented asking for care videos, and some of y'all even said, like, even if the tips don't apply to me, you just like watching, like sitting down and watching or listening to someone talk about one specific plant. And I used to do a lot more videos like this. Like, I would do, you know, I have a few different ones. I have one for my alocasia dragon scale. I had one for my philodendron El Choco red. I had one for philodendron tortum, and I kind of approached it from the angle of, like, this has been this plant's journey, and this is everything that I've done, and this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looked like now. So I can understand from that point of view. Like, I do enjoy those videos as well, so maybe I will in the new year be featuring more plants, like specific plants. Obviously, I'm going to be featuring more plants. That's what my channel's about. But making dedicated videos for a plant. I think I might do one for my philodendron glorious, because that plant is just, it's crazy. I can't stop staring at it. All day I've just been staring at it. It's like 8 feet tall now. It's insane. So maybe I'll do a video on that plant and try to pull up some old photos and kind of talk about over the past few years that I've had it, because I got that plant when it was literally like this big. So it's so crazy. There were also 11 comments for before and after videos. What else does this say? before and after specific updates. Okay, yeah, so following up on plants, following up on like rehabbing plants or different projects, following up on unboxings, stuff like that. Y'all love to see that, which is great to know, and that makes sense. 8 comments were for more projects, and in almost all of them the pingdom was mentioned as an example, which made me so happy because I know that that's such a niche thing. And you know, when I posted that video, it didn't get a ton of views. I have an Instagram reel. It's not like, it's definitely not the most, it's just niche, so it's not, there's not like tens of thousands of people watching those videos, but I love making stuff like that. So I would love to pick out a couple more fun plant projects to do throughout the year. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know, because I did the pingdom. I need to sit down and just kind of think of different things that I could do, but I would definitely love to do more stuff like that because the pingdom is literally one of my favorite planty things in my home. So there wasn't many comments for a specific type of plant for me to talk about, except for one, and 8 of you left comments requesting videos specifically on Hoya or Hoya themed videos. So I wrote that one down, which did surprise me, but again, it makes me very happy because I love Hoya, so I will gladly make more videos talking about them. That was really the only, I think one other comment mentioned alocasia, but other than that, it was mostly just Hoya that were getting mentioned. There were also 8 comments requesting more videos for plant styling, which I love. I am definitely keen to make more kind of plant styling videos. I have a video that goes over the plant styling in my home. It's kind of like a general overview, and it shows some of my favorite ways that I've styled plants. If you haven't seen that, I will link it down below, but I'd love to do more stuff like that. There were 7 comments for favorite videos, like I do them quarterly now, but yeah, talking about my favorite plants. And 6 comments for hauls. Hauls will probably, I mean, I'm sure that I will still do hauls in 2025, but it'll probably be more minimal this year, but they are fun. I have to agree with you. And then 6 comments requesting more casual or vlog type content, which I will probably continue to incorporate on this channel. I mean, obviously, like, I have my separate vlog channel for people who are interested in just more lifestyle stuff. I love when my favorite creators share snippets about their life and kind of just like, you know, the main videos are going to be about plants, but then there might be something within a video that's more just like, oh, this is what I'm eating, this is something else that I did this day, or, you know, whatever it is, because I don't know, I just think it's more personal and more interesting when there's different little things thrown into videos. And I know that a lot of people hate that and just want to see the plants, but it's my channel, so I guess I'm just gonna do whatever calls to me. But it was nice to see some comments requesting that kind of stuff like incorporated into the plant videos. 6 comments for monthly resets, which also makes me happy to know that there are some people out there who like those videos, because I don't know, they're helpful for me to make, and I find them very satisfying to watch when other people make them, so it's fun for me to make them too. I love sharing content that's relatable and also can kind of get us motivated and organized together. And then there were 5 comments for experiments. People want to see more experiments and like long-term kind of things that span over several months or a year. There was also 5 comments for my collection type videos, so begonia collection, and 3 specific people actually mentioned that they wanted to see a hanging plant collection, which is very fun. I do love my hanging plants, so I'll probably be making that soon. Also, I saw some comments for a like my collection of my flowering plants, or maybe my favorite flowering plants. So yeah, there was tons of different ideas that I have jotted down here as well, and some of the comments listed like several ideas, and it's just so nice that y'all take the time to write out those ideas and requests. I'm definitely going to be getting to some of them, and yeah, I'm really excited for all of the content that 2025 is going to bring. So I just finished up my watering, and I'm thinking that I'm trying to think of what I want to do to just kind of get things feeling organized and freshened up. I definitely need to do a little bit of rearranging because some of my shelves are just a little crazy. So was this window. I just had to move my hanging plants back. They were all kind of in the wrong spaces because the Christmas tree was there. Thank God that thing is gone now. I was so over having that in the way of my plants. Like, yeah, that thing had to go back downstairs. So glad to have the window back. But I definitely have some rearranging on my plant shelf in the dining room, and I would like to clean the Vitsto shelf as well. It just gets so dusty, and yeah, it's definitely due for a little clean. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get started on the shelves right now.
Oh my god, this guy beasting out.
What's that?
All the plants getting so big.
I know.
So they get bigger in more in the winter than they do in the summertime because the sun is like.
It's because I've been watering them this year.
It's because you've been watering them.
I'm serious. Since I got that electric watering thing, they get more water. I put off cleaning the Visto shelf for yet another day, but when I woke up the next morning, I knew that it was time. I always delay this job, even though it is so satisfying to see this shelf all clean and tidy and organized. So I started removing all of the plants, and don't worry, this isn't going to be a long segment. I'm not going to be super detailed with showing everything that I'm doing here because I know I just shared with you cleaning this shelf in November, and it's probably not the most exciting thing to watch, but plant care is kind of like that, honestly. Like, it's just repeating the same kind of mundane tasks over and over again, so it can be a struggle to create content that is engaging to watch, I suppose. So I'm trying. I was spraying some of them down as well. I couldn't not because I have to keep the mealies away on this shelf. I was so shook by how big the Pallidiflorum's leaf is, the newest leaf on it. You'll see it later in the video. But yeah, so I did end up spraying some of my plants down just to make sure that they were nice and clean. I could put clean plants back onto my clean shelf. But yeah, as I was saying, plant care is very repetitive. You're doing the same things over and over, and you need to be doing those things. You need to be consistent, and you need to be dedicated to just doing those tasks, even when they're not the most exciting things. And that is when you stick to that and you follow through with a routine and a schedule, that is when you are rewarded with beautiful, lush, thriving plants. So it really is worth it. And I guess that's why I share some of these maybe not so exciting things, like me just literally wiping down my shelves. Some tasks are definitely more exciting than others, so thank you for hanging out with me during both the mundane and the more exciting plant chores and plant care. Yeah, so my Syngonium chiapense is officially growing all white. I have 2 leaves in a row with pretty much 0 green on them, which kind of sucks. I think I'm actually going to be filming a whole separate video on chopping it up and rooting multiple nodes to see if I can get some balanced variegation again. It really is a shame because I was so excited to get that plant, but yeah, it's just loved to give me full white leaves for the past year, actually. It's obviously dropped a lot of them, but now it's like it's not even wanting to give much green at all, so it's definitely time to give it a chop. Overall, I'm actually pretty happy with how this shelf is looking. I mean, you can't really tell by looking at my collection, but I did end up getting rid of a handful of more plants over the holidays, and it feels really good to do that, and also just gives me I feel more motivated to take care of the plants that I do have because I feel less overwhelmed, if that makes any sense. It's nice to just kind of be able to focus my energy on the plants that are currently in my collection that I really love. I really just want them to be looking good. And as of late, I've been super caught up with my plant chores, which is crazy. I got up this morning and it was time for me to take care of my plants, and everybody was watered, and I had to sit there for a minute and think, what am I going to do today to care for them? I know that there's always something to be done, but normally I feel like I'm kind of drowning in just so many tasks. So it felt really good to be able to just relax into plant care. I didn't feel super rushed or anything. So I'm definitely going to be channeling more of those vibes for 2025. Okay, so I was just cleaning off the shelf with this prop box, and I thought it'd be fun to take a peek in here because I actually haven't looked in these prop boxes. I have 3 of them. I haven't looked in them for a while now. I did just open this and give it a spray because I looked in here and I have this black begonia cut up and in this prop box because it started really declining. I thought it was overwatered, but now I'm thinking perhaps it had spider mites and still has spider mites because it looked very suspicious when I opened this up. So I just sprayed my pest mix in here, so hopefully that will take care of anything that is perhaps lurking. But other than that, like, this looks so good. So let's take a little mini tour. Okay, so other than the black begonia that we already talked about, by the way, I just put a few like stem cuttings, and then I also took leaf cuttings where you cut the leaf in half. I haven't really, whoops, I don't really have a lot of, see that? Can you see the suspicious looking spider mighty stuff? Like, look at it. Anyways, it's supposed to grow roots from like the middle part of this, and I don't really have a lot of experience of doing that with begonias, so we'll see if anything comes of that. But anyways, we have a Hoya that I ended up cutting up because it had such a stubborn case of mealybugs. Actually, 2 of the Hoyas in here I cut up because of that. So this one is I can never remember the actual name of it. It's like 001 Sumatra something, I don't know, but it has an actual name as well, I think, so I will put it on the screen if I can find it. But I really love this Hoya, so I didn't just want to get rid of the whole thing, I wanted to save some cuttings, so that's rooted up in here. And then this over here is actually my Hoya mini pixie. Do y'all remember when I was debating whether I should get rid of it or not? Well, I ended up just taking some cuttings. It's rooted in here as well. I can probably pull these out at any time. Like, they've been in here for a while, and I'm pretty sure that they have pretty decent roots. And then we also have some of my string of hearts. So we have my variegated string of hearts and also some string of hearts silver glory, because I don't know, my string of hearts were just getting so out of control, and this is kind of an ongoing problem that I have with string of hearts, is that they get too crazy, and if I miss watering, then they get so many dry crispy hearts and just kind of start looking bad. So I ended up cutting both of those up with intentions to restart them. And then is that it? I think that's it for in here. They're all looking really good though. This is so satisfying for me to look at. I think that this is so much cuter than the old like big tote bins that I used to do for prop boxes. It's so much more manageable for me, and yeah, I just think that it's so cute. So that's the first one. I'm gonna put it back here, and I'm going to turn the light off because I did just spray it, so I don't want them to get burnt. That's why I have the light off for my other ones right now as well, because I just sprayed those plants up there. Okay, and then the next box, I can see Hoya undulata in there. I have multiple Hoya undulatas right now because I cut up my main one, which you saw the new leaf at the beginning of the video. Okay, so Hoya undulata, it is rooted. Oops. I don't know if you can see, but there's lots of roots here, so that's really good. We also have Alocasia maharani, which is so exciting. So I'm going to be able to pot this up again soon. I planted, I don't know if y'all remember, but a while ago I planted up, or not planted up, but I stuck multiple corms into this prop box because my maharani was just so infested with mealybugs, and I was just completely over it. So I decided to just harvest some corms and then restart it. Oh my gosh, sorry, it's like dinner time for the dogs right now and they're amped up running around. So Alocasia maharani, and then I also have random string of turtles in here as well, because that plant kind of rotted on me around October when I had it in this little like I repotted it into a little like cauldron thing, but it didn't have any drainage, so I think it got overwatered. Whoops. Okay, that is Hoya Silver Lady that I just removed this yellow leaf from. Is she rooted? I kind of hope. Oh my gosh, yay, she has roots. Oh, I'm so happy to see that, because this plant is not doing good. So I took an insurance cutting and stuck it in here, but it has roots. That is amazing. And actually, I'm kind of shocked, but my Hoya croniana super silver, which I put in here a while ago, my whole plant just went so downhill and tried to croak on me. So in a panic, I took this cutting, but I really thought that it might be beyond saving, but it's actually rooted. Isn't it? Yeah, it's rooted, and it's growing these new little baby leaves. So I'm honestly really surprised by that, but yeah, it's doing it, so that's awesome. And then is that all that I have in here? I think so. These prop boxes have been doing so well for me. Like, yeah, everything's been doing awesome. Actually, that's not true. The perlite ones have been doing really well, but I'm gonna show you the sphagnum one right now, and it has not been as good as these perlite ones. I find sphagnum to be hit or miss, but perlite is just like the best for propagating in my experience, and it's also way cheaper than sphagnum. Okay, so this is my taller prop box here. So let's take a peek. So we have these wet sticks. These are Philodendron domesticum variegated. Now, I have already removed some because they rotted, and it looks like I have more to remove that have rotted. That's so annoying. Yeah, that literally happens to me in sphagnum moss way more than perlite, I feel. Anyways, we still have some of them, and I actually have, I've already potted up some cuttings from that domesticum, so I don't even really care if these ones make it or not because I already have a plant going again. I took a cutting of my Hoya Bella inner variegated because I really love the inner variegated, and I kind of wanted to pot this one up separately because right now I just have a mixed pot of my inner and outer variegated, and the inner just like, I don't know, it just isn't looking that good. So I kind of wanted to see if I could grow this maybe in self-watering and pond and get this like looking really lush. So I thought I would take a cutting and just propagate it. And then, is that all that's in here? I guess that's all that's in here. That's crazy. Oh, and the undulata, of course, which is rooted as well. I don't know why I was so scared of undulata croaking, but all of the cuttings just took so easily and so quickly, and my main plant is already putting out a new leaf, so it's been doing really well so far. The weirdest thing happened to me. So if y'all remember, I used to have a variegated Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I didn't even have it for that long. I'm pretty sure that I got it like sometime during 2024, and it started going all white for me, which is a problem that happens with variegated plants. That happens more often to me than them like reverting and going all green. I have the problem of plants going too white, which is very annoying because that's like, it's even worse because then the white leaves just die off. Whereas with the green, at least the leaves will live and you can chop and like prop those ones and see if they'll shoot out variegation again. Anyways, so I ended up cutting up the Rhaphidophora because I was like, well, I'm gonna see if I can get variegation to come back or green to come back on any of these nodes. And I cut it up into several wet sticks and put it in a prop box, but it's like lost now. Like I have no idea where these wet sticks are. I never saw them again. So I'm just like, what happened? I don't understand. I thought that maybe they were like some of these wet sticks were that plant, but they're not. Like these are all just Philodendron domesticum. So it's bizarre. That's never happened to me before, I don't think, where something has just completely disappeared. I was racking my brain. I'm like, what? Like, where could they be? They're not in any of my 3 prop boxes. I don't know where else they could possibly be. So I guess I don't have that plant anymore. I mean, maybe they got thrown out by accident or something, but I swear I remember putting them in a prop box. It's just so weird. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that because I was so excited to have that plant, but oh well, I'll maybe try again with a different one later on. Hello. Oh, come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, you running away? Okay. You running away? Hi. Oh. Come here. Come here. Why are you being a monkey? She wants me to feed her. Okay, hello and good morning. I am continuing my New Year reset today, and we are tackling the task that I am most dreading. So I have all of these Hoya and some other propagations, but all of these Hoya that are in sphagnum moss, I have them all pulled out because I want to get them all potted up. Oh my goodness. The reason that I'm dreading this, I actually enjoy doing repots in general, but the reason that I'm dreading this is because of the sphagnum moss. It takes so long to pull off. My fingers are crossed that it's not going to be too bad today because I don't think that these, like, first of all, a lot of these are my new plants from Plant Haven Toronto that I got in at the end of November. But even the other ones, I don't like, they haven't been in moss for a super long time. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad. And that's kind of the reason that I want to get them all potted up today, because I don't want them to be left for months and months and months living in this moss, and then it's just going to be a nightmare to remove. I just want to get all of my plants that are either living in sphagnum moss or that are propagating and have roots potted up. I just want to, you know, get everyone set up for the year. So that is why I'm going to be tackling this today. So most of these are Hoya, and I also have my Begonia Fanny Moser water propagations that have been in here for a couple of months now, far too long. Like, the roots are insane and this looks disgusting, so we need to get her all situated. And then I also have a couple of other water propagations. These have sulfur sprayed on them, so that's why they are looking so funky. But I have in here, first of all, Hoya Boitii, which I cut up a while ago because it was covered in scale, which is so, like, sometimes scale just pops up out of nowhere and I'm like, what the heck? And I was not going to be dealing with that and risking it spreading to all of my other plants on that windowsill. So I just took cuttings and propped them, which was kind of a shame because this plant had grown a lot and was starting to look really good, but whatever. And then I also have some cuttings from my Cebu Blue. I recently got rid of my hanging basket of Cebu Blue because it was just, I don't know, it was kind of unmanageable and just looking really messy. Kind of a similar situation as to what happens with my string of hearts that I was talking about yesterday. But yeah, I thought it'd be I really love Cebu Blue. So I wanted to have a pot of it. Like, I didn't just want to get rid of the plant. I do have my climbing one right there, but I do also love it trailing, so I wanted to have a trailing one, and I thought it'd be nice to have maybe like a smaller, more manageable pot growing on my Bitcho shelf. So we're going to be restarting Cebu Blue, and then I also have just an Epipremnum pinnatum albo in here, little cuttings, because the variegation on this one looked nicer than the cutting that I had potted up, so I ended up getting rid of that one. And I'm gonna be restarting this little variegated one. The other one that I had growing, it had such minimal variegation, and it also became a target for the mealybugs. So yeah, I had to toss that one, unfortunately, but I'm hoping, I can't even see this. I think it should have roots. Like, I think all of these are rooted. Okay, yeah, it does. I'm actually really excited to grow out Epipremnum pinnatum albo, because I think that they're just so pretty. Whenever I see them in other people's collections, I am just gobsmacked. So yeah, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. I'm kind of considering just taking the moss off all in one go. Oh, I'm gonna have to wet these, I think. Some of them they're not dry, but I like the moss to be like pre-soaking wet for easier removal. I could even bring a little, well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I might just take the moss all off at once. I don't know. I guess I'll just show you some exciting updates on some of these. So the Hoya that I am absolutely obsessed with right now is my Hoya Silver Dollar. It has a couple of new leaves. This one right here, it's huge new leaf. And then also this one is new. They're still like kind of soft and shiny and just so incredibly stunning. I can't with this plant. It is so crazy. Super rooted. This is probably one of my most rooted ones that I have in sphagnum, actually, so I would really love to get it potted up. I sprayed this yesterday for pests because you never know with the mealybugs. When the new leaves come in on this Hoya, they look so stinking cute. They come in super dark purple. I'll post a photo on the screen so that you can see. It's just incredible to watch them transform into the full adult leaves. It is just so crazy. Probably one of my favorite baby Hoya leaves that I've had come in a while. I was obsessed, so I've been loving that. And then another Hoya that has a baby leaf right now, which is super exciting. And I actually I'm like, oh, I don't really want to repot this when it's putting out a new leaf, but I just feel like it just really needs to be repotted. So, or it doesn't even really need to be repotted, but I'm just worried that it's gonna get too, like I said, I don't want it to get like too rooted in the sphagnum moss. Anyways, this is my Hoya Hypalasia. Is it Hypalasia? I don't know. All I know is that I'm obsessed with this Hoya. So if you've been watching me for a while, then you might remember that this one was living in my Milsbo tall cabinet. This is kind of sad after being shipped, and I'm so obsessed with this Hoya, and I was just so excited and happy to have it that I ended up cutting it. So this was one, and then I ended up cutting it. So now I have 2 sets of 2 leaves because I just wanted it to have more chances to root up because I was so scared that this was just gonna croak on me. So this set right here ended up rooting up and looking okay fairly quickly. So I was like, okay, thank goodness, like I think it's gonna be fine. However, this set looked like it was, I was sure that this was just gonna not make it, but now it actually has rooted up as well. They've firmed up and it's shooting out a new little vine. I don't think you'll be able to see because it's so small, but it's shooting out a new vine. So both of the cuttings have made it, which is so crazy to me. And now I am getting a baby leaf right here. Oh, let's see where is gonna be the best. I'm kind of in a weird, lighting situation right now. Oh my gosh. I think the shadow is literally from the microphone, so there's not much that I can do about that. So there's a cute fuzzy baby leaf, and I'm so happy to see that. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this one potted up. We also have a new leaf coming in on my Vitellinioides right there on the vine. Yeah, so that is a little bit of an update on how some of these plants have been doing. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna set myself up here, remove all of the moss. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go like assembly line style, where I do take off all the moss, then pop them all into, am I gonna do soil for all of them? Maybe I should put some of them in self-watering to see how that goes. I'm gonna have to think, sort myself out over here, and then I will see y'all when we're gonna do the repotting. So I tidied up and cleaned this whole shelf last night and then just didn't give an update. So I'm gonna show you just a quick overview of how it's looking. So I have all of my Hoya that were here, my new Plant Haven Toronto Hoya, are currently on the table waiting to be repotted. It actually looks kind of nice with the more minimal look, but there's definitely going to be some Hoyas going back onto that section because they're gonna need somewhere to live. Also, my Anthurium pallidiflorum has the most insane new leaf. It is so incredibly long. I have not measured it yet, but when I'm holding this plant now, it almost touches the floor. Like if I'm holding it up, it's literally almost as tall as me, this plant, which is so crazy. Also moved my Anthurium King of Spades here. I don't know if that's gonna be where it stays, but it's just gonna hang out there for now because I don't really have room on the shelf that I rearranged a couple of days ago. I guess this shelf down here has room for some of my new Hoya, so perhaps I'll move some of them down here. But I now have this little cloche thing on here, and it has an Anthurium Dark Phoenix and Pap hybrid from, this was a bonus plant from Plant Happens when I ordered from her a couple of months ago. Oh yeah, I also now have my Gisenia pothos here because I ended up putting the Begonia maculata over here, which I think that I love how this looks here. I think that that's so pretty and interesting and just looks nicer than having the moss pole there. And the Gisenia, it just wasn't getting enough light to really, like it was growing, but it's not really doing what I want it to do. I put it on the pole because I want to see some nice juicy big leaves, and while it is sizing up, and perhaps it is because of the moss pole as well, I don't like these wire poles. I much prefer a closed back pole. So I am going to be chopping this once it reaches the top, and I'm going to be moving it to a closed back pole. So perhaps it is just the pole, but I think it would benefit from having a little bit more light. So for the winter, it just wasn't doing too hot over there. And we'll see how the maculata does. Maybe it won't be happy either. Up over here, not really too much changed. It's pretty much the same. I moved my heartleaf philodendron there, but that's pretty minor. And then nothing really changed with these shelves at all either. I'm pretty happy with these two lower ones. These are kind of more so my succulent shelves. We do have a bloom coming in on my Stapelia, which is really exciting. I've been watching it every day, seeing when it's gonna open. Maranta Silver Band is finally on the mend. Also, we have some new leaves coming in, which is nice. Some of my Hoyas are off of this shelf right now because I'm going to be potting them up, like my Silver Dollar, so that's on the kitchen table. I'm kind of obsessed with my Paradisia lately. Like, it's so pretty. I love her. But yeah, there's not really any changes, so I don't need to give thorough plant updates right now. No changes here either, just cleaned everything up, and it just looks so much better once I clean the shelves, especially the lower shelves. They get so incredibly dusty just from the dogs walking by and us walking by, and yeah, they get dusty really quickly. Even the plants, I had to shower off the Moody Annam because she was covered in dust. Look at how beautiful. I'm obsessed with this plant lately. It's definitely one of my favorites. I'm so in love with it and just happy that it's growing for me again. But yeah, they're all cleaned up and looking good. Moved the heterophylla over here. Not sure how it's going to do, but yeah, we'll see. There's a big new leaf trying to come out there. I think I'm happier with this alocasia in this spot and the Marble Queen Pothos in the spot that it was in. It just looks nicer to me like this. I love how she looks like she has a spotlight on her. I mean, she does because she has the grow light there, but yeah, I just think that this looks really pretty. Anyways, feels really good to have this cleaned up. So I am going to work on my repotting now. So I'll see you at the table. So one of the things that was really not working for me in 2024 was constantly getting new plants while I hadn't even settled in my previous batch of new plants, or even my previous or the previous. You know what I mean, when you keep getting new plants and then they're just building up and your list is just getting longer and longer of all the repots you need to do, plus all the other plant chores you need to do. So something that I am really going to be implementing this year is not buying any new plants or getting any new plants, bringing any new plants in. That is the term I should use. Not bringing any new plants in, so that includes, you know, trades, gifts, anything, until I feel like I'm caught up on plant chores, which I know is kind of subjective because, like I was saying earlier, there's just always something to be done, and that really is just the nature of keeping a large houseplant collection. That's kind of the nature of life, if we're being honest here. But yeah, I don't want to have a pile of plants that are in sphagnum moss that haven't been potted up into a more permanent setup. I do not want to be bringing in more plants when I haven't even dealt with the last ones, for obviously practical reasons, because I don't want to be completely overwhelmed with my chore list, but also just because I feel like it's not conducive to me appreciating what I have. Like, I want to be excited about new plants when I bring them in. Like, I don't want them to constantly just be put on a to-do list and I'm focusing on the next exciting thing that I brought into my collection. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is really, like, you know how people talk about collecting plants and people just like to buy, or really anything, like people just like to buy things for the dopamine hit, or, you know, you just want like the next new thing. So I think that it kind of felt like that for me last year in 2024, but now in 2025 I just want to really prioritize the plants that I have, make sure that everyone is all settled in and happy, and if I choose to bring in some new plants, that's fine, but I don't want it to be that type of situation. So thinking about this and this whole conversation now makes me think about how one of the most amazing thing growing plants, gardening, indoor or outdoor, can teach us is patience. And I feel like I'm not really, like, when I'm just focused on new, I'm not really getting that reward, or that, like, it's like I'm trying to, what am I trying to say here? It's like, you know how we want the, like, quick fix to everything in our modern society? Not to make this, like, so philosophical. I know it's not, it's just plants. But I feel like I'm like fast tracking or like bypassing the reward and the dopamine that being patient would give me. We have to put in the time and the effort and have the patience to see beautiful results from our plants. But I feel like almost instead of leaning into that, I'm just, and I know that I'm not the only person that feels this way, I'm sure, but I can only speak for myself, and I know that I am definitely guilty of it, probably with a lot of different things. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm just rambling at this point, but I feel like plants can be so rewarding and make us feel so good in a completely different way and in a better way. So I would much rather have that kind of connection to my plants. I don't know if this makes any sense. I'm just I don't know how y'all feel about this kind of podcast style voiceover over this sphagnum moss portion. I thought it'd be more interesting to mix up some sections in this video where I do a voiceover rather than just overlaying music, because I know that can get a little tiresome. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I just really want to be caught up on my root pots. I want to be caught up on my moss poles, my trellises. I want everything to be clean and tidy. Yeah, I just want the collection to be in a good spot. That's my number one thing for this year. So I'm really excited to see what my plants are going to look like by the end of the year, because I'm like really just trying to put a lot into it for 2025. So yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes. I want to avoid overwhelm is basically the overarching theme here. And you know, the reason that I got into plants and that I enjoy having plants is because I love to be around them in my home. I love to just enjoy their presence, and I love to admire them. I love the energy that they bring to the space, and that becomes very overshadowed when a list of chores or pests or like whatever it is, when that's weighing down on me. It's hard to just be present and to just enjoy my plants. But I really want to get back to that this year so that I can just, you know, be caught up with things, be able to just sit in my space and just look at my plants, be able to walk around and just admire them. Okay, so now that I have just shared random thoughts for most of this, let's see what's going on with these plants. So I was doing this for, I think it took me an hour to remove the moss from all of these, which honestly isn't too bad. And I feel like this was the way to do it when I had a whole bunch of plants. If you have, you know, like 10 or more plants that all need the same kind of thing, I feel like this assembly line style situation works really well, rather than removing the moss and then repotting, and you know, I'm like doing different things and pulling different supplies out and stuff. It was just nice to do all this, be able to put all the moss into this one pile, and then I can move it off the table afterwards. I had my water bowl next to me, which worked really well. I don't think I've ever done that before, actually brought a water bowl to the table to remove sphagnum, but it worked awesome. And then I was also setting some of the plants in there after I removed as much moss as I could, and then after they had been soaking in there for a few minutes, it had loosened off even more moss, so it became a lot easier to get off those last kind of bits. And you know, I'm not too fussy with getting all of the moss completely off when I'm potting into soil, but when I'm potting into pond, something about it just sketches me out having bits of sphagnum on there. So I do try to get almost all of it off, or just get the roots as clean as I can before I put them into pond. So the Hoyas that I thought I might be candidates for pond with the thinner leaves and whatnot, I focused on getting as much off as possible, but then some of the other ones I wasn't so fussy. But yeah, all of the roots on these look pretty good, and I was actually pretty happy because they weren't out of control rooted. Well, most of them. Some of them were pretty bad, like I think Valiniorum was, but I had that in moss since I think I got that like at the beginning of the summer last year, so that is why. But most of the other ones were fairly new to me, like within the past few months, so they weren't crazy rooted, and it made it much better to remove. The only one that I think maybe I potentially dry rotted the roots off was the Hoya Kentiana, is it Kentiana or Waiedii? I don't know, but the Lori Lynn one, I think that was, I removed the moss near the beginning from that one, and there was pretty much no roots. At first I thought I just broke them off, and I think maybe I did, but I think that happened because they were dry and brittle, which doesn't really surprise me because I did underwater these for one watering. I was too late and the moss was very hard, so it's actually not too bad that was the only one that looks like it maybe suffered a little bit of dry rot, but I ended up popping that into some water to root back up, and I'm sure it'll do fine. The leaves still seem super healthy and everything, but the rest of them, they all looked so good, so I'm excited to see how they settle in. You'll see me repot them in the next clips. So yeah, I'm really glad that I just took the time this afternoon to sit down and do all of this. My back was indeed killing me, but I don't know, I also kind of enjoyed it, and I was also like you saw, I was watching some Planty videos and just kind of relaxing, and that's another thing that I am trying to focus on, is just slowing down. I've talked about this a little bit on my Patreon and my vlog channel, but just really slowing down, because sometimes I feel like I just have this sense of needing to rush at all times and through almost everything that I do, and I just don't want to live like that. I want to be able to just enjoy the things that I do, even if it's just removing moss from some roots, you know what I mean? So yeah, I was kind of intentionally, like, I would feel this if I was getting frustrated because the moss wasn't coming off or whatever. I was just like, no, like, let's just relax, like, it's fine. We can chill out and just do this, like, there's no rush. It's also interesting having downsized my collection, and it's not like I've downsized massively, like, I still have over 200 plants for sure, but I've probably gotten rid of 50 or maybe even a little bit more than 50, which is insane because you look around and you can't even tell, and I don't even like notice the ones that are gone because there's just so many. But even downsizing what is, you know, a small fraction of my entire collection, I feel more inspired than ever to actually take care of my plants. So it honestly just feels like removing dead weight, I guess, for lack of a better term, off of me, and I just have more breathing room to focus on the plants that I do have. Anyways, I think that's enough of my thoughts for tonight, so I'm probably just going to fast forward through the rest of the Hoya. Okay, I just switched out my potting mat. I moved my other one. It's full of moss. I moved it to the sink because I'm going to be reusing that moss for some moss poles because, well, moss is very expensive and it's also not very environmentally sustainable. So I always like to reuse it whenever I can. And a really great way to reuse moss, because sometimes after a plant's been living in it in a while, it's just not as nice and fluffy as it once was. So I feel like moss poles are the perfect way to reuse it, because I don't really care if the moss is super nice in the poles and the plants don't seem to care. So I feel like that's just like the perfect thing to do with it. Anyways, new potting mat is here. I am going to begin the actual repotting process, which is going to be a lot more exciting than just removing the moss. I have some plants sitting in water there because I'm just trying to get as much sphagnum off as possible. I don't really care for the ones that are going into soil, but for the ones that I'm putting into pon, I want to just get all of it off that I can. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a mix. It's gonna be pretty much half and half of pon and soil repots, just based on the pots and the supplies that I was able to come up with. Oh, whoopsies, that was a root. Okay. I need to stop. You're done. You're done. I'm not done. Okay, now I'm done. Oh, I broke another one. Okay. My poor plants. So I found these. I feel like this is like a blast from the past. I used to use these self-watering pots like years ago, and I haven't used them in a while because I prefer the ones that have the water gauge. Like these are some small ones that I grabbed, and then I have my round gray and white ones that I'm sure y'all have seen around my collection. But these ones are just, they have an inner net pot, which is nice, but they don't have any water gauge or anything. Okay, some of them are missing the wicking cord. I have more wicking cord that I can go get. Oh, I guess I'll do it this way. But yeah, it's just a wicking system. But these were some of the only like smaller self-watering pots that I have. And I do like that they have the mesh portion. So I am happy to use these again and see how it goes. And then I'm just going to be using my DIY pond for these, which I recently mixed up a new bin of it, a fresh new full bin. So, oh, actually, I do have a full bin of it, but I forgot that I already have some that's clean in my strainer that I'm going to go ahead and reuse. There's also some jumbo perlite kind of scattered in there as well. I just need to go get my scoop and then we can start potting up. And the first one that I'm gonna go ahead and put into self-watering DIY pond is this Hoya Kamingiana outer variegated. I think that this one is really gonna thrive in pond. I don't know why I think that. It's just a vibe that I'm getting, okay? I do a lot of plant care just on vibes. It is questionable, but I feel like it usually just works out. I'm mostly opting for pond for the ones that are thinner leafed. For my really thick, chunky leafed ones or chunky root, like these roots, I mean, I could put this in pond and maybe I will, we'll see. But oh my gosh, the roots on my Argentea Princess are so thick. Like for Hoya roots, these are insane. Really satisfying actually. But some of the thinner leafed Hoyas have these smaller root systems and I just feel like they're gonna want more water and they are good candidates for this type of setup. It's actually so weird using these pots. I haven't used them in so long. I think I'm gonna grow this as more of like a trailing. Is that what people do with this one? I feel like this has a similar growth habit to like my Hoya chingunensis, where it will kind of like drape down, you know? Which, by the way, I moved my Hoya chingunensis to the bathroom because I thought it'd be cute in there with a little mushroom planter, and it was just, I don't know, I was trying to declutter some of these shelves. I don't know if it's gonna stay in there, but it is cute kind of coming down from the window with its growth pattern or its growth habit. So I'm thinking that this one is gonna be like that style of Hoya. We'll see when it gets longer what it wants to do, but maybe it will end up needing a trellis. I'm honestly not too sure. I'm gonna leave it like this for now, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This is so cutie. And I think, what am I gonna do? I think I'm just gonna fill these with, I should do Super Thrive water. That's what I'm gonna do. I was gonna say plain water, but no, I'm gonna do Super Thrive water, and I'm gonna go mix that right now actually so that I can get these watered as I'm going. Okay, so Kamingiana is all done. She actually looks so cutie. I love this. Y'all know how I feel about a good repot. I feel like it just levels up plants so much. Going from being in its little sphagnum moss nursery pot to actually being in a real pot, like that's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna go find more wicking cord. Okay, I found my wicking cord. This is just an extra thing of wicking cord that I got off of Amazon. And you just cut whatever amount off that you need. Okay, where is the end of it? There it is. Oh yeah, and you can also burn the ends to like seal them off. I think I did that to the last one. See, now it is not going to fray and come undone on us. Oops, wrong thing. Eyeball how much I will need. Let's try that. Oh, that seems like a lot. Well, better to be too long than too short. That's fine, actually. So I'm gonna need 2 more of those. So I'm just gonna cut them all out right now so that I can use this to measure. Can make it a little bit shorter. Here we go. One, 2, 3. I need 5 more to go in self-watering. 1, 2, 3. I could do 4. 4 or 5. Okay, it should be fine. All right, let's get the next one set up here. It's gonna be really interesting growing more Hoyas in pon because I don't really have many in pon right now. Do I only have 1 in pon right now? No, I have a few in pon, but not many. So I'm excited to experiment more and kind of see how it goes. Some people, I find that it's really divisive. Some people swear by pon or semi-hydro in general for Hoya, and then other people say don't do it. So yeah, that's why I'm curious to find out how more of mine do, I guess. So next we're gonna go ahead and do the Hoya Lima Silver. This Gorgina one right here. It's been sitting in the water, so I'm just gonna pick off what little bits have been loosened off. Pop her in. This is another one where I have no idea if I want to grow it trailing or if I want to pop it on a trellis. So I feel like it could be cute on a circle trellis, but I don't know, honestly. I am eyeing a circle trellis that I have in the windowsill right now. My Hoya Silver Lady has it, but I had to chop that Hoya completely back, so it's not actually vining. So the trellis is just sitting in the pot. Maybe I should steal it for this plant. I'm gonna go wash it off quick. Kind of big, but she'll grow into it. Okay, there it is on the circle trellis. Oh, I have to fill it up with water still. Okay, nice. Next one that I'm gonna do in water is the Kennegiana intervariegated, because this is a thinner leaved Hoya. So thought it might be a good candidate. And I was able to get the roots pretty clean on this one. Okay, no trellis needed for this one because it is not vining out yet. But I think it will need a trellis once it starts growing. Oh, my back hurt. Why does my back hurt? Okay, there's water, so I don't want to spill it, but there she is. See, the repotting part is very fast. It's just the moss that took a super long time. Got this one hanging out. I'm gonna put it back in the water here. Okay, so the next one that I'm gonna be doing in semi-hydro is this. What is this one even called again? This really dainty one. Hoya peltata. See, I wanted to say patella. I knew it was something similar. Peltata. It's so cute and dainty looking with the little round leaves. All right, there's the peltata. I'm gonna grow this trailing, I think. I'll see how it does. I can always add a trellis later on. Okay, so now I have my 2 square self-watering pots left to use. A black one and a white one. Now I'm kind of wanting to experiment with this one since it is a chunkier Hoya, but do I want to experiment with this chunky Hoya? I don't know, because I'd be so sad if this croaked. And I also kind of want to put the hypalasia in one of these, but again, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to be asking for trouble like that. I don't know. I'm gonna look at some roots again and see what I think. Those are pretty sphagnum-y. Oh yeah, this one, like, I think this one I'm gonna put in semi-hydro, even though I'm scared. We've gotten this far together. I mean, at least there's the net pot, so I can pull it out and check on them whenever I want to. I've had Hoya growing in these pots before in pond, and they did fine. My obavadas, I got rid of them because I'm over obavada. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do hypalasia, and I would like to try my Vitellinoides, but it's just the roots are way too dense and full of sphagnum. I could try out the patella. Maybe I will do that. Yeah, okay. I'll do hypalasia and patella. This one, I don't know why I'm so tempted to put this in. Yeah, patella is a little bit of a thinner leaf, so yeah, okay. Okay, made my final decision here. Okay, so now we're moving on to my soil repots, which is going to be pretty straightforward. I have just some clear plastic. These are just little 4-inch pots, and these are just repurposed takeout. I think there was Thai food in here at one time. So we are, oh, and I also have these ones. We have a bit of a selection here. These, which I was planning on using as nursery pots inside these black pots. They fit really well, so I might use those for some of them. How many do we have left? 1, 2, what is this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 plants left. Plus my other ones that I need to do as well, my water props. Oh boy. Hello everybody. It is now evening time. It's 5:50 p.m. and I've been meaning to go out and pick up a couple of different planty supplies that I've been meaning to get. So I want to pick up some not big, but bigger than what I have, yew trellises for my Hoya, because some of my Hoya, like my quinquenervia and yeah, a couple of the other bigger ones are just really outgrowing the acrylic trellises that they're on. Oh, I just realized I'm not going to be able to use the bamboo ones in semi-hydro though. I need to figure out that cake dowel thing that Kevin does, because he is able to use those trellises in semi-hydro by putting them in there, right? I'll put that on my list to research, but I know I need larger trellises for my soil wood. It would be no problem to pop them in, but yeah, I'll have to figure out my pond ones. And then I also figured while I'm out and about, I should check HomeSense for some cover pots. That's something I like to do a few times a year, just to see if there's anything I can pick up, because I'm always just keeping my eye out for cover pots, because I'm really trying to get all my plants not just in their nursery pots, so they look a lot nicer. So I figured I would just pop in and take a look. And now, since Christmas is done, the spring stuff is going to start coming out, which is insane because it's only January, but capitalism, that's how it works. We're always moving on to the next thing. So garden stuff will be coming out soon. And then what else did I want to look for? I think that I have a list. I had wood glue on my list, but then I ended up being able to use a glue that I already had, because I just had to fix our coffee table. Cut key, that is not the list that I want. Cover pot trellis. Oh yeah, command hooks. I need more command hooks because I need to continue pinning my Florida Ghost along the wall because it's growing off, and I don't have any other command hooks that are going to work to stick it on there, so I need to pick up some more command hooks. And then I also am going to keep my eye out. Maybe I can stop at the dollar store or something, but I'm wanting to keep my eye out for, actually, you know what, maybe the bamboo trellises. I wonder if those would be out at the dollar store already. I'm not sure. I was going to check Canadian Tire, but maybe they would be out at the dollar store. But clear trays. So I saw someone do this. I saw it like months ago, and I commented and I was like, this is so genius. Or no. I don't know how this happened, but I know I got this idea from someone either telling it to me or I saw it, and I have no idea. I feel like it must have been an Instagram conversation or something, but they put clear acrylic trays in the bottom of their Acrobar cabinet, because if you know how my Acrobar is now, it just has a leca layer on the bottom, because I pour water in there every once in a while, and then the leca kind of absorbs that and just keeps it nice and humid in there. However, it's really annoying to get the actual like top part of the greenhouse onto the tray because the leca's rolling around everywhere and it's getting in the way, and yeah, it's just very annoying having it all loose in there. So I think it'll be so much nicer to have clear trays in that cabinet. So I don't know if this makes any sense right now, but I am planning on doing a video where I kind of make over my Acrobar again, because it's just looking like a hot mess. I mean, it's definitely on the mend, like the begonias are on the mend in there, which is good, but yeah, I need to just re-weather strip it and just clean it all out and everything, so I am going to be filming a video on that soon. But yeah, those are a few things that are on my list, so I'm going to head out. And where am I going to go first? Probably Canadian Tire, or no, maybe the dollar store then. They're actually like in the same little mall thing, so I will go to the dollar store first, I suppose. And I have a lemon lime poppy because I love me a little drink, a little soda. So good. Okay, so first stop is the dollar store. Now, when I went in, the seasonal aisle was pretty much completely empty. It looked like they had just put away all of the Christmas stuff. So I'm sure that the gardening section, it looked like they're preparing to put stuff out, but nothing was really out yet. They did have some pots though. They always have just a few pots, and usually they're the same ones, but I like to always check. I actually really like these cement ones, and they're nice and heavy, so I ended up grabbing one of those. And I saw these trays that I think were in the wrong spot. Someone randomly put them here, so I need to go track them down in the correct aisle. And then I remembered that some of y'all were telling me to check the dollar store for isopropyl alcohol, but these tiny things were $3, so I don't think it's really any cheaper than the ones that I had bought, unfortunately. There are also lots of cute little plastic containers that I thought would work really great for mini prop boxes or even larger prop boxes. There was so many different ones, so go check the dollar store if you are looking for a propagation bin. And then I did find some acrylic trays that I think could possibly work for the Acrobar. Okay, next stop is the iconic, the infamous Canadian Tire. If they're open, because honestly their hours kind of suck lately. Okay, there's not very many cars here. It could just be because it's Friday night and not everyone is wild like me coming to Canadian Tire, but it could also be because they're closed. And instead of going out in the rain, I'm just gonna look on my phone in the car. Oh, they're open till 9 p.m. Okay, let's head in. I think all I need here are the yew trellises, the bamboo trellises. I'm pretty sure that they have them. I cannot believe that they didn't have those yew trellises. I thought that they sold them, but maybe they never have. Maybe I just invented that. Now I don't know where. Oh my gosh, why is that so aggressive? Hello? Okay, yeah, I'm really partying it up out here. Okay, so yeah, I don't know where to get the yew trellises now. I feel like they have them on Amazon, but I feel like that might be one of those things that's really expensive on Amazon, so maybe I should just wait until the spring because I feel like the dollar store might bring them in for the spring. If you're in Canada and you get like the bigger bamboo yew trellises, let me know where you get them from. And I was like, well, while I'm in here, they have like a kitchen section. I was like, I'll go check for cake dowels. Also couldn't find those. So those I checked on Amazon while I was in there and they're not expensive. So I'll get those. I'm going to gather all of my supplies that I can trellis some of my larger Hoyas for the spring eventually. But yeah, kind of sucks that I didn't get either of those things, but it's fine. I did end up getting some command hooks, so I almost walked out of there without them as well. Like, I completely forgot, and then I was like, let me check my list one more time, so I checked it, and I was like, oh my god, command hooks. So I got just the small clear command hooks, and I also got these poster ones because I need to start hanging some art around my desk area. Actually, well, yeah. I don't know why I got those, actually, because I should probably wait until after I paint, which I am going to do someday soon. On today's episode of Fern Procrastinating Projects. And then I guess I'll just do a little check-in with everything that I got. So I did end up getting this little cement planter from Dollarama because it's really heavy. I love a heavy planter, and I thought that this might be really cute with like a Hoya or even like something trailing, like my Cebu Blue or something. That might be cute as well. So I thought that was like, you know, whenever I find a decent cover pot, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get it. And then I did end up getting 2 of these little acrylic trays to hopefully use in my Acrobar. It should work. We'll see how this goes. And then the last thing that I got from the dollar store is just some acetone nail polish remover because I am almost out of nail polish remover, and I don't even know how much this cost at the dollar store, actually. Let me check. Because normally my nail polish remover is like $7 something. That one was $3. And it looks like it's a little bit smaller of a bottle. Well, honestly, maybe not. Maybe not. I think it's just a taller, skinnier bottle. And then the other one that I get is like shorter and wider. So $3. That's definitely where I should be picking up my nail polish remover. Anyways, I'm gonna head over to HomeSense now, check if they have any cover pots. I'm honestly not that hopeful, but I'm kind of in the mood to just have a browse. Okay, I grabbed 2 pots from in there. There was so many other cute things, especially they have Valentine's stuff out right now, and there's this super cute strawberry dog toy, and I wanted it so bad, but I'm trying to not just, like, we didn't need it. The dogs don't need, neither of them need another toy right now, so I'm trying not to just buy so many things that we don't need. So I left with just my pots, which is what I went in there for. So I'm pretty happy about that. And they actually had so many pots out. As soon as I wasn't even in the store yet, I could see through the windows that the pots were out at the front. And I was like, okay, it's go time. So I ended up getting I got 2 kind of like taller ones, which I really like tall, heavy pots because they work really well for moss poles to stabilize them. So I ended up getting this green, it's kind of like a double tiered situation. It's super heavy, and it's like a taller kind of pot as well. I don't know how big this is, maybe like 8 inches or something if I had to guess. Whenever I'm looking for pots, I never go in with measurements. I just kind of eyeball, like, oh, if that looks like it would work for like my moss poles or my Hoya, like whatever. I just have such a variety of sizes of plants that I can basically pick out any pot. Like I just go for the ones that I'm drawn to and that I like, and surely when I get home I have a plant that it'll work for. And then I ended up grabbing the white one with the kind of like, I don't know, scalloped shape to it. Again, heavy, tall. I think it's going to work really well for a larger plant. And this one actually has a drainage hole, so I could even pot right into this, which is always a nice option to have. Which means I'm going to have to use oh my gosh, it's heavy. I'm going to have to use a drainage tray with it, so I'll just have to remember to do that so that I don't destroy our floors. But yeah, that's everything that I grabbed this evening. Thank you so much for coming along and hanging out. I'm going to go home, and it's 8 o'clock right now. So I'm probably, honestly, just going to, by the time I get home, just get ready for bed and call it a night, get into bed and read some of my book. So I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me during this little few days of just getting on top of my plant collection and getting prepared for the new year. I'm super excited for everything that's to come. And again, thank you so much to everyone who left suggestions or just let me know what type of videos you like to see on my channel. I'm so excited to just keep creating. It is such a privilege to be going into another year making Planty content. This is actually going to be my 5th year, which is so insane. Yeah, it just makes me so happy to still be doing this. And I wouldn't be if y'all were not watching. So thank you so much. I think that's all that I have to say. I don't think there's anything else I need to wrap up. Hopefully I will get my hands on some of those Hoya trellises soon. I'm really just like, I'm in a plant chores mood lately. I want to get all of my plants looking really good. Like that is just the vibe for 2025. I want my collection to look the best it's ever looked. I want all my plants to be healthy, thriving. Even today, getting all of those Hoya and those other plants potted up, it just felt so good to bang out just a bunch of things that I needed to get done. And now those plants are going to be prepared to go into the growing season, and they're just better set up. So yeah, I'm really excited for this year. I hope that you are too, but I will leave you here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to chatting with you and catching up in the comments. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I couldn't even if I tried.